This is back-to-back YouTube videos, and this is going to be a completely brand new YouTube video. It's going to be the third video for the day. This might be on both channels. This might be on just one channel. If it's on one channel, don't be surprised, okay? Excuse me. It's been a long day. Had lunch earlier. Alright, Sunday, I'll drop the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger video because I heard that they're going to be rebooting Power Rangers all over again for people who love Power Rangers. But this is going to be one of those heartfelt, serious types of videos. You know, all joking aside, all entertainment smiles aside. This is where Alexander Odin gets real serious on camera because it's a serious video. And this video is for people who might have some second thoughts about what goes on in life. And I told you guys about 4 or 5 months ago that I was going to make a video, if I could go back in time, the mistakes I should have corrected. I'm serious. I said I was going to make a video about it, and today's the day. So the title of this video is going to be called Sex Game, the 7 mistakes I should fix back in time. Now, every man and every woman walking on this planet has made mistakes in their life. Doesn't matter if you're young or old, black or white, a man or a woman, you've made mistakes. You made a mistake when you was in high school. You made a mistake when you was in college. You made a mistake when you was at work, at the gym, at the park, the beach, the nightclub. Doesn't matter where you was, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, you made a mistake. And you always scratch your head and you always say to yourself, if there was a time machine, if I can go back in time and tell a younger version of myself the stupid, childish things that I did, what would be the 7 things I would fix that I myself, nobody else, I messed up? So I came with a list. I wrote a script. Coming in at number 7 is help more people. Now, I told you in the last video in Sex Game, the 10 rules of being a YouTube superstar, that there was this one guy that has a learning disability. He has either stage 1 or stage 2 Asperger's. And we went to the same, surprise, surprise, we just happened to go to the same junior high, but we went to different high schools. And he watched all my YouTube videos, and I had no idea that he watched my YouTube videos. But when he did watch my YouTube videos, he was furious, not because I got popular, but because he had the same dream, the same passion. He played basketball, I played basketball. He did martial arts, I did martial arts. He was in the cartoons, or you could say anime, comic books, and video games. And for the most part, I was in the same activities. Problem was, I got social acceptance, and he didn't. He got laughed, teased, made fun of in junior high, high school, and college. And nobody wanted to talk to him because he had a mental disorder. He had stage 1 or stage 2 Asperger's. And he would walk up the street and down the street talking to himself. And people would look at me and say, why don't you show him how to do filmmaking? And I said the reason why I wouldn't do it is because I don't want to force the issue. Whenever somebody tries to force him to do something, 2 things happen. 1, a fight break out, or 2, the police gets called. Because he did get in a couple of fights on the bus because people made fun of him because he was weird, he was strange, he would laugh for no apparent reason. And it kind of made me go back to the days when I was in junior high and high school and how I got punked and bullied because I like Dragon Ball Z, I like Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Instead of going after the cheerleader, I went after the golf girl. Like, they gave me a lot of shit for liking the golf girl over the cheerleader. Because I was not blessed and talented to play basketball and football like most kids, I was into martial arts, wrestling, and filmmaking. And obviously they did not understand my passion. Yes, it's hot as hell and I'm sweating. They didn't understand my passion for filmmaking. And I got into a lot of fights in junior high and high school. A lot of fights. That's why I kept doing a lot of martial arts. And if I can go back in time, and I got this idea from 2 people. Barry Allen the Flash and Tony Stark Iron Man. If you've seen Avengers Endgame, the story plot is they deal with time travel. So if you see something that says back in time on here, you should know that's where I got the two ideas from the Flash television show, because it's all about time travel, and Avengers Endgame. And I got the idea from them because if I can go back in time, one of the things I should have done, but I didn't do, is I should have helped him to not just become socially aware and accepted, but to show him how to do filmmaking, how to do the videos. Because he seems like he likes my videos. He just wants someone to explain what he went through and what are the challenges on what you have to go through. So it's something I regret because when I had the chance to help him, I didn't do it. And that's why some people think I'm selfish, self-centered, an asshole. And it's like, look, I don't want to cause no trouble because I seen people in the past help this guy, and I told you one or two things happen: a fight break out, or the police gets called. All right, coming in at number 6 is the art of talking. If we took the Alexander of 2020 and we took the Avengers time machine, or if we couldn't get the Avengers time machine because War Machine and Spider-Man would probably be protecting it. If I had the powers of Barry Allen's super speed, I would go 14 years into the past to a high school called Westchester High School and try to sit my younger version down and explain to him, in order to get anyone to talk to me, I would have to learn the art of talking. Because there have been a lot of women, a lot of black women back in high school that asked me, how come you don't have a girlfriend? How come you're not married and you don't have no kids? How come you're not in no relationship? And you see, when you're in college or when you get your first job or your second job or your third job, you don't know how to actually sit down and explain to people those negatives. The first thing I would tell my younger version is proper exercise. I think we all can admit that back in the day, I used to eat too much fast food, like too much McDonald's, too much Burger King. I would probably tell myself to stop eating so much fast food. Another thing I would tell my younger version is stop being impatient and such in a rush to always try to prove somebody wrong. I mean, that was back then, not today. Another thing I would tell my younger version is stop taking it personal when I get rejected by women. Oh, yeah, I used to take it very personal in high school. For 4 years, I got rejected a whole lot. It may not seem like it today, it may not feel like it, but 14 years into the past, oh, I got rejected like it was an NBA game all day, every day. Somebody hit a three-pointer, Alex got rejected. People laugh at me in the hallway because I tried way too hard to talk to the most popular girls, period. It didn't matter if they were on the dance team, the cheerleading team. It didn't matter if she was the most popular girl. I got rejected all day, every day. Got laughed, got made fun of at PE. People were like, that's that guy that got laughed. I was Peter Parker before he became Spider-Man. I was Barry Allen before he became the Flash. I'm not saying I have their powers and their abilities. I'm trying to tell you the nature of the situation. I would also tell my younger version, learn how to wait for women to give you the conversation and stop forcing. That's something I would tell my younger version that obviously I failed to learn. Had I learned what I know today, I probably would have never gotten rejected as much. Most men don't like to talk about how many times they got rejected in high school or in college. In high school, I got rejected about 5 to maybe 10, maybe 11 times. See, it takes a real man to come on camera and talk about his mistakes, his regrets, his fuck ups. That's the correct word I'm looking for, fuck ups. I got rejected 10 to 11 times. Every time. I was just doing childish nonsense, and my mom always kept shaking her head saying, one day you're going to learn that's not how things are to be done. Yeah, I found out the hard way, the painful way. Coming in at number 5 is filmmaking. How did I know that doing YouTube videos was going to get me to where I am today? I probably would never believe you. Because I was thinking if I couldn't play professional football, basketball, it was either a professional wrestler. That's something that I will get to. I'm serious. Every time I saw a production film truck, I saw in Hollywood. And I always said to myself, that's what I want to do. A camera operator, a screenwriter, and then finally one day a Hollywood film director. That's what I wanted. And had I known that these videos were going to go viral, had these videos do what they did today, I probably would have done things a little different. I probably would have gotten help maybe 5 years earlier than I should have, instead of waiting until, most people be embarrassed to say this on camera. For me, it was like almost 7 to 8 years later. But if I had got help in the very beginning, like had I actually got help right after high school, and these videos took off earlier, there's no telling what might have actually happened. So I would have to say filmmaking, I mean, you see we mastered it, but you get what I mean. Had I done it right out of high school, things would be a little different. Coming in at number 4 is professional wrestling. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made, one of the biggest regrets in my entire life, is that I had 2 opportunities to break into professional wrestling, and I did not take those opportunities. The first one is when I met professional wrestler Chris Masters when I went to Gold's Gym in Culver City, California. I saw him on television, and then the very next day I saw him at the gym. And I should have asked him, how'd you broke into professional wrestling? Like, what wrestling school you went to, how much money it cost, but I didn't do it. I froze. Here, for years and years in junior high and high school, that's all I wanted, professional wrestling. Professional wrestling, god damn, it's hot. Professional wrestling, that's all I wanted. And I froze. And when I told my friends, they said, man, you had an opportunity to become rich and famous and break into your dream, your passion, professional wrestling. I froze. I forgot all about asking him. And I only saw the guy like 2 times, and that was it. Then I had another opportunity, and it was in 2007 when I saw Rob Van Dam at Venice Beach in 2007. Again, I had another opportunity to break into professional wrestling. And for the second time, I froze. And I spoke to him for a very good 5 minutes because he was riding on his bicycle. He was on injury leave. He was on injury pay / vacation. And at this point in time in history, he really wasn't with the company anymore. I think he was on injury, but he was on his way to TNA. And to me, that would have been the opportunity for me to do it because at that time, when he saw me yell, Rob Van Dam, and he saw me like, man, look at this big jacked dude. Because he looked at me like, man, you're big, you jacked. Like the look he had on his face, like, dude, what are you doing playing basketball? Like, you too buff to be playing basketball. You should be doing professional wrestling. I froze. Those were my biggest failures, my biggest mistakes, my biggest regrets. If I can go back in time, I would have said break into professional wrestling. Because there would have been a chance for me to see how things are done in the entertainment industry at its full range. Coming in at number 3 is Just Do Things Different. Now, when I got my first part-time job at Topshop Tubman at the Grove, there was a lot of things I should have done different. One of the mistakes I made, one of the biggest regrets, one of the biggest fuck-ups was I should have just waited for the girl to tell me if she liked me or didn't like me. I got rejected like 4 times, and I didn't want to take no for an answer. And that's nobody's fault.